Right friends, welcome back to 5th capsule for 42nd week. This is News in Focus. We are going to discuss briefly on two topics, tuberculosis and India, and the second one is Saraswati river existed, panel report says, and the first topic, tuberculosis and India. This is with reference to the recent report released by World Health Organization, that is Global Tuberculosis Report 2016 was released by World Health Organization recently, and at the same time, please don't forget, World Tuberculosis Day is observed on March 24, and as per the Global Tuberculosis Report 2016, during the year 2015, there were an estimated 10.4 million new TB cases worldwide. Worldwide, there were 10.4 million new TB cases, and this tuberculosis is mainly affects the people with the malnutrition. So, India is one of the vulnerable countries as far as this tuberculosis is concerned, and 60% of the cases, that means 60% of the global tuberculosis burden is on 6 countries. The 6 countries are Indonesia, China, Nigeria, Pakistan, India and South Africa. And worldwide, 1.8 million, that is 18 lakh people died of tuberculosis in the year 2015, and it is one of the top 10 killers in 2015. And if you look at further information of the estimated 10.4 million new cases in 2015, only 6.1 million were detected and 4.3 million are expected to be undetected cases. And the most alarming thing is multi-drug resistant TB became major concern in countries India, China and Russia, and these 3 countries account for 50% of multi-drug resistant TB. MDR TB or multi-drug resistant TB is the tuberculosis where the tuberculosis is resistant to 2 frontline drugs. They are rifampicin as well as isoniazid. These 2 are the frontline tuberculosis drugs, and when the tuberculosis is resistant to these drugs, then it becomes multi-drug resistant TB, and it is very difficult to cure multi-drug resistant TB. And India, China and Russia accounts for almost 50% of multi-drug resistant TB cases. And there is a huge gap as far as investments required and actual investments available, and this gap is more in emerging economies. And inequalities among the countries in tackling the tuberculosis is also on the higher side, as just now I have told you. And if you look at India, India has 27% of global burden of incident tuberculosis. Our population is around 17% of global population, and our TB cases are 27% of global TB cases, probably because of malnutrition, and 34% of global tuberculosis deaths. And for the year 2015, the updated estimate of incidence is 2.8 million, that means 27%. And India accounts for maximum percentage of multi-drug resistant TB. As I have already told you, India, China, Russia account for 50% of multi-drug resistant TB cases, whereas India accounts for the maximum. And what needs to be done? The need of the hour is to have more efficient diagnostic facilities, better vaccines and better preventive strategies, and a modified recombinant BCG vaccine developed by German scientists is to be manufactured in India, and this should be expedited, and the vaccine is expected to reduce recurrence of TB in treated patients. The biggest problem is once a patient is treated, some patients will have recurrence of tuberculosis that is more dangerous, and this recombinant BCG vaccine is expected to reduce recurrence of TB in treated patients. And as I have already told you, the biggest problem is the malnutrition, and it is responsible for 50% of tuberculosis in India and is also the reason for higher death rate in our country, because the capacity of the body to mount an immune response is limited in case of malnutrition patients. Hence, malnutrition is to be tackled with emphasis on micronutrients. And in our country, as per the recently released report, 39% of the children are stunted. And the population with wasting are also substantially higher, and the need of the hour is to look at the nutritional aspects. And our public distribution system should take care of nutrition, and the ICDS program up to 6 years of age should take care of the nutritional needs of children. So these are the essential things. Unless you tackle malnutrition, it is not possible to tackle the menace of tuberculosis. So the need of the hour is to give macronutrients, micronutrients, especially for children. And the government program is to achieve 90-90-90 target by 2035. What is this 90-90-90? The target is 90% reduction in incidence of tuberculosis, 90% reduction in mortality, and 90% reduction in catastrophic health expenditure. And the goal is by 2035, this 90-90-90 target is to be achieved, and the government should work with more vigor so as to achieve the goal. Right, friends? So tuberculosis is one of the biggest health hazards in our country, and proper nutrition is the real solution for the problem. Right, friends? After leaving this here, let us look at KS Valdia panel report. KS Valdia panel was commissioned by Water Resources Ministry, and this panel stated that there is evidence with regard to the existence of Saraswati river. Saraswati river was mentioned in Rigveda and Hindu mythology, but at present it is not in physical existence, and the expert committee consisting of geologists, archaeologists, hydrologists stated that there was existence of Saraswati river in good olden days. And the 7-member committee was headed by Professor K.S. Valdia of Jawaharlal Nehru Center for Advanced Scientific Research. And from the evidence of paleo channels, you may ask, what is meant by paleo channels? The paleo channels are the remnants of defunct rivers. If some river existed in good olden days, at present it is no more in existence, then fresh siltation will be there over that. So these type of fresh siltation are examined to come to the conclusion of existence of river, right? And if you look at other important findings, this Sarsuti Markanda rivulets in Haryana were the water courses of eastern branch of the river, and at the same time western branch consisted of Gaggar Patiali channel, and these two branches met in Shatrana 25 kilometers south of Patiala and then flowed as a large river, and the river emptied into the sea, which is the present day Rann of Kutch. And the paleo channels of ancient mighty Saraswati from Himalayas to the Rann of Kutch have been compiled and presented. Then, if you look at additional information on this, Water Resources Minister Uma Bharati stated that the report is assertion of the assumption that the river Saraswati originated from Adibadri in the Himalayas to culminate into the Arabian Sea through Rann of Kutch. And here The minister also stated that vibrant civilizations existed right up to Harappan civilization and flourished on the banks of the river. And apart from mythological investigations, basically the purpose of this investigation is to check whether the channels can be replenished and used to improve groundwater levels. And the committee was constituted to compile all the information on paleo channels, causes of their disappearance, and assessing the recharge potential of the basin primarily. Right, friends? So now the Valdiya panel says Saraswati river existed in good olden days. With these two topics, let us conclude the news in focus. Please do join for Read Between the Lines. Have a nice day. Thank you.